will be the host of your show today. Today we're going to talk about knitting. We're going to talk about, I wish we could talk about spinning. I would love to say that. It's been on my mind so much lately, but I don't know, I just haven't made time for it. The wheel that I have it was a handmade one. I've talked about it in, I have no idea what podcast, quite a long time ago. Might have even been 2 years ago or a year ago. I have no idea. Anyway, but yeah, so it's a knitting podcast talking about handcrafts that I've been working on and a little bit about my shop, a homespun house. So I've been doing a fair bit of knitting this week. The girls were really sick, and Ruby still is. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, so I've been doing quite a bit of dyeing and working on some really, really fun knitting. So I did finish something. I think last week I showed you guys my Simple House slippers that I knit. I decided to go ahead. Melissa from Hey Lady Hey was so generous, and she gifted me her Farmhouse Flats pattern. And that pattern is really neat because it has a lot of different sizes. I think it's from child up to like a grown man. And it's toe up. I have never, ever knit a sock, a slipper, anything toe up. So I was intrigued. I was a little bit nervous. Yeah, it's nothing I've ever done, like I said. So I had some yarn. This is, go ahead and show you this. This is my Dale base, and this is the Ooh La La colorway. And so I knit these with that. And they are super worn. Like the bottom, I would say, is already almost felted. Just because I've worn them every single day. It was really nice because after Robert dropped Dodie off at Kita this morning, he just finished. He came home, laid Ruby down for her nap, and then he came into the living room and he said, I cannot wait to pour myself a cup of coffee and put on my house slippers. What a great thing to hear when you've knit your husband, partner, whoever, something, to know that they're really looking forward to getting their feet inside of those comfy slippers. So like I said last week, or 2 weeks ago almost, he wears them every day. It's so cute to look over and see his little feet snuggled up inside of his slipper. So I had to knit myself a pair, and I knit these out of the Farmhouse Flats by Hey Lady Hey. And they were so fast. I think I knit them one evening while Robert was at rehearsal, and then the next evening while he was gone. So it was really just a 2-evening project, and that was it. I don't know how long I would even say that they took. I was just relaxing, enjoying myself, and yeah, so that's them. I could have knit them just a little bit shorter even, because this garter ridge section really, really stretches. And this is 100% merino, 19 micron, which makes it seriously cashmere soft. That's my Dale base. And I have that in Aran, DK, and fingering weight. And it's my favorite. So there those are. Like I said, they were a lot of fun. I would like to knit another pair. Maybe I'll knit a pair for my mom. I don't know if she would wear them though. I know when I was little, she wore slippers quite often. But even when we were at her house for Christmas, she never wore slippers. I don't know if it's because she doesn't have any. I think if she really liked them, she would probably buy some. And I didn't notice any. So, and they keep their house hot. Each day when I was there, when they would leave for work, we turned the heat way down. I think they had it on like 71, and we turned it down to 67 every day. So maybe slippers for her aren't necessary. I don't know if my grandma would wear them. I know she has slippers. I noticed them around her house. But they're so comfy and cozy. I could see my sister wearing these maybe. I could see my best friend Katie wearing these. Anyway, I need to find a reason to knit another pair. So, Farmhouse Flats by Hey Lady Hey, a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that pattern if you want to make a couple of different sizes. The Simple House slipper is just one size, but I think once you've knit one, it's also one that you can customize if you have, if you've knit a pair, like I said. So the next thing that I've been working on, I have inside of my Alex Collins drawstring bag. So Alex was so nice and sent me this bag. We've been friends on Instagram for quite a while and just kind of talked back and forth and kind of kept conversations going through that way. So I kind of feel like she's a friend of mine, if that makes sense. And she sent me this bag, and then with the bag she sent me this beautiful lavender sachet. And Alex prints her own fabric, and I'm very, very impressed with her work. This is the nicest drawstring bag I have ever seen. The quality it's premium quality. It's really, really beautiful. And I love how she has her logo inside of the fabric right there. I think it's really nice. And then on the bottom is this kind of blue cotton linen. It almost has a tweedy effect to it. There is no tweed or lumps or anything inside of it, but it's really, really beautiful. It looks like it's hand dyed as well. I don't know if it is. But it's so pretty. I adore it. Really, really great quality. And the quality of the pull tab and everything, it's really, really beautiful bag. I could not recommend it more. I think it's so special. It's like hand dyeing yarn and knitting something out of your own hand dyed yarn. I think it's so special that she prints the fabric, cuts the fabric, sews it together. This is really, I feel like, a piece of her soul, and in the best way ever. And I think it's really special that she wanted to share that with me. So inside of this bag, I had to put a really special project. I have my special DPN holders from one of my good friends, Danny of Little Bobbins, who I'm going to go see in only a few days. It's not even a week now, it's a couple of days. I have my Half-Blood print socks. So one of them is finished. I don't know why I have sock blockers, and I never show you guys my socks on my sock blockers. So I knit this in the Blueberry Waffle Socks pattern. This is so squishy and cozy, and we had a whole conversation going in the board of last podcast episode about my gauge for knitting socks. and I know, Amanda, you said that you have to be a loose knitter because there's no way that your foraging mittens and your socks could be so small. 56 stitches for a mitten on fingering weight yarn and 2.5 millimeter needles could fit. But I feel like that sock doesn't look huge. Like if I was a loose knitter, I don't know. My stitches don't look loose at all. Like they're not holy, I have no idea. I mean, it's not like I have huge legs or anything. But that's my sock, 56 stitches on 2.5 millimeter needles. I have really small wrists and hands, and my feet are a size 8.5, so they're not small at all. But who knows? I could be a loose knitter and have no idea. So yeah, that's my first finished Half-Blood Prints sock. And I've started the second one. I really, really love this pattern. Something that I want to talk about this sock. So I have been knitting socks for years. I would say 20 years I've been knitting socks. Almost. No, maybe not that many. Anyway, maybe 15. And I just realized a new way to knit my heel. I have always, every time I have knit, a heel flap heel, I have always had a little hole on each side at the bottom. And I have had or on each corner right here. And I have always been so frustrated that I couldn't find a way to remedy that. I tried knitting the stitch through the back. I tried knitting 2 specific stitches together to try to find some way to get that hole out of there. And I don't even know how to describe it with words, but I found a way to make the most beautiful heel flap. And I know there are so many people who knit heels without holes. But it's something that has always really, really bothered me. And my grandma, often when she knits socks, I see that she has this little hole there too. And I just kind of thought, maybe it's just something that's always there. But then I thought, there is no way. There is no way that this hole always has to be there. I know you guys can't see it because the camera's way too far away. But it is so perfect looking. I am so proud of the heels on these socks. They're so beautiful, and it makes me want to knit a heel flap every time. And the reason why I had been knitting the Fish Lips Kiss heel was because it was really relaxing. It was a really, really easy heel to knit, and I felt like it just went so quickly. You never had to do this gusset shaping. You just knit the heel and then you knit. I don't have an overly wide foot. I don't have something where you really need that gusset shaping, because I know a lot of people with the Fish Lips Kiss heel, they have where the top of their foot is just too wide and it can't expand enough without that gusset. So for me that wasn't a problem, but I was just kind of using this Fish Lips Kiss heel to mask my problem of having that hole, and now I don't have that anymore. And while the Fish Lips Kiss heel fits really, really nicely, I just love the look of a heel flap. I think it's so beautiful. It's just pretty. It's just so pretty, and it's vintage looking, and it's the way that my great grandmother knit socks. It's the way that my grandma knit socks, and I like the way it looks the best. I'm going to have to see once I finish these if I really like the way that it wears better than a Fish Lips Kiss heel. We'll see. So yeah, I really want to try I think it's called Eye of the Partridge heel that Danny has knit quite a few of. It looks really pretty, so that's the main reason why I'm drawn to that. And I've cast on the second one. Like I said, I have this in my DPNs from Danny. And I just have a bit of the cuff knit. And this is on my Dale fingering base as well. I have had quite a few emails and things where people ask me, can you knit socks on non-superwash yarn or on a yarn that doesn't have any nylon in it? And I feel like so many people say you cannot. So many people say you need that nylon in your sock for it to be so much more hard wearing. But nylon is such a new thing, man-made thing that has been added to wool. It was never there before. Now, just because it wasn't there before doesn't mean that, it was perfect before. But socks were not made or knit with nylon in them forever ago, and those were hard-wearing socks. I know my grandma and her mom had socks that they wore for ages and they didn't wear out, and they were just wool. While a merino wool isn't necessarily the best yarn to use for a sock, a non-superwash merino wool, just because it is so, so soft, something that would be better would be a 100% Polworth or a BFL. But I feel like those sorts of socks are so nice, or those sorts of fibers are so nice for socks when they're not superwashed, because they really get like a felted sort of feel at the bottom, and I feel like that's what makes it so it's a really nice hard-wearing sock. I think Polworth is a really, really lovely fiber for socks, and I think BFL is a really wonderful fiber for socks, and I think that the Dale 19 micron merino is a really, really nice fiber for socks. I wouldn't be knitting socks with it if I didn't think so. One thing that people were putting into socks also, they were using wool socks. It was normally just a wool sock, but the natural thing for nylon would be a mohair or something like that to add that bit of strength inside of it, which is why a Polworth or a BFL is really, really nice. But I think that the Dale 19 micron merino socks, or any merino socks, I think are fine for socks. I mean, as long as you're not going for jogs in them, or I think for normal people who are working an office job or who are, maybe walking a little each day, it's completely fine. And I don't know why people think that you need a superwash nylon sock. This is a new thing. People have been wearing socks that are not superwash and socks that are not nylon, that don't have nylon in them forever. And they don't always need to be darned in a year or so. But I can understand that. I can definitely understand the superwash. You can throw them right into your wash. I can definitely understand that. I love superwash too. I knit with superwash yarns. I really like the way they dye. I do like knitting with them also. So I don't want people to think that I have a problem against superwash. I don't at all. I just have a really soft spot and a love for non-superwash yarns also. Yeah, so the next thing that I have been knitting on is, I don't even know what's in here. Okay, I'll talk about that in just a minute. You know what's really cool? Almost all of the projects that I'm knitting on are non-superwash. The socks, or these are non-superwash. That's 19 micron merino. My socks are non-superwash. That's the Dale again. So I'll talk about this right now. I wasn't going to, but I can talk about it now. So this is also a 100% wool. This yarn is, and it is from, let's get this card out of here. It's Infinite Twist. It's her 100% merino. And this is a cardigan that I started ages ago. It's called the Kermes cardigan, and I don't know how well you can see that. But I kind of changed this pattern quite a bit. I know Susan B. Anderson has since knit one and finished hers. And I had decided that I wanted to make a really big, oversized version of this because I thought it would be really nice to wear. Since then, it smells really good. I must have some lavender in here. I do. I have a really, really old Tuft Woolens lavender wool wash. This is how she used to wrap hers, and it was always really beautiful. I loved the brown paper, but that's funny that this is in here. I better use this soon. She is Martha, the creator behind Tuft Woolens. But anyway, so I haven't knit on this in a long time, and it's so funny the way that we change with our styles and our knitting and what we like. And as I was saying, I really wanted to knit an oversized cardigan with this, kind of like the one I'm wearing now and the one that I wore last episode, the huge oversized pink cardigan. And I do like those from time to time, but lately I have been wearing so many tights and dresses with cropped sweaters over them. And I kind of feel like this would just make a really, really nice sweater. A fitted sweater is what I have been wearing, like a kind of a cropped fitted sweater. And I would really like to change this pattern into a sweater. So what that means is ripping it out, recaking it, and altering the pattern to be a sweater. And I think that doing that, it will make me work on it so much more. I really want to be working on more sweaters. I talked about this last episode. I really wanted to have an Aran weight sweater on the needles. I think I've really got to rip this out and turn it into just a sweater and not a cardigan, because that's what I'm really craving to knit, and that's what I'm craving to wear. And I just think that this is going to be so massive, and it's not what I want to knit right now. So I think that I need to rip it out and make it be something that I want to knit. I'm happy that there isn't a ton of work on it. There is a lot because there is quite a bit of yardage put into this, quite a bit of stitches on the needles, so it was a bit of time. but not enough time that I'm just going to let it sit. Or it was too much time to just let it sit, you know? It would be nice to rip it out and get some use on it. So yeah, that's my projects that I would like to do. And it would be really nice if by the next podcast, I don't know how likely this is, I could have it all ripped out and knit that far up in a sweater style rather than the open-faced cardigan. So Kemper from, oh my goodness, I'm terrible. Kemper's podcast, she talked about, you know, going through her stash. I think it was maybe 2 podcasts ago. And she was kind of looking at all of her languishing works in progress and everything that she wanted to keep working on, everything she didn't want to keep working on. And I did that yesterday. I looked through a lot of my projects, and that's when I found that. And that's when I thought, you know what, I have to rip this out. I have to turn it into something that's wearable, something I want to wear right now. An oversized cardigan and fingering weight yarn takes a lot of time. So I don't want to spend all that time. I don't want to leave that there while who knows if I'm going to wear it, you know? So I looked through that. I looked through some socks that I had had on the needles. I don't even remember what else was there, but there wasn't actually that much. And that for me was what was really refreshing to see, because I had kind of been feeling a bit overwhelmed by everything that I had been working on. And that's why I thought, you know, I really need to go and look at all of these project bags and see what I want to knit on, what I don't want to knit on. And I think that's funny. Did I do it because of the new year? Did I do it because, I think I did it because of other people. I think I did it because of being inspired by someone. And I'm happy that I was able to watch Kemper's podcast and hear her talk about this, because once I finished the podcast, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and do this too. I want to go and do this too. I want to get those projects out of my life and be able to use that yarn for something else. Because the yarn is way too pretty to be wasted. I chose all of those yarns. I love all of those yarns. I don't want them to just sit in project bags and become nothing, you know? So that felt really good. It felt really good to see that I didn't have that many works in progress going. And I think it makes it easy to say, you know what, cast on something when you want to cast something on. I don't want to do that right now, although I will be casting on the sweater. But I don't really have a huge urge to cast on something. And I think that's because this is my favorite project bag of the moment. I've shown this before. It's from the Fawn and the Fox. Lara made it, and this is one of her wool felt bags that isn't hand-dyed, not by her. It's just so beautiful. I love touching it. I love using it. If you can ever get one of these wool felt bags, do it. There's something about them is just really, really special. And I love the lining in there. So, I'm working on my shawl design again. I am not going to show any of it because I have had some really, I'm not going to go too much into detail with it, but I've had some really, really bad experiences lately with, I don't want to say copying, but with with people with people copying me. And that's been really, really hard to deal with. And I think that's inevitable. But that's all I'm going to say about that. So, for that reason, I'm not going to show any of this. I think I've shown maybe pieces of it in the past. I am knitting it with O wool, and I love this yarn. This is also a non-superwash yarn. It is beautiful, amazing yarn. I am knitting it in her Pearly Muscle right here, and then her Barn Owl colorway. and it is so pretty. I love these yarns. They're so squishy. They're a 2-ply. They smell amazing as well because, once again, I have a Tuft Woolens Vanilla Almond Hand body balm in here. And this is also the original container that she had these in. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So my shawl design is coming along really, really nicely. I wanted to do this you can use 2 skeins of yarn. It's something that you'll even be able to use a variegated skein of yarn. But there are so many single skeins of yarn that we have in our stash, and I thought it would be really nice to make a large shawl pattern that you can use up 2 of those skeins. Because we all know I'm really into large shawls lately. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I would say I'm 2/3 of the way finished with it, and I'm really enjoying it. It seems like everything you design, me as a designer, you love it more and more and more. So Kristen just finished her shawl design from Valen Yarns. I think she called it Wild Meer or something. I can't remember what she called it. I wish I could remember. Anyway, she announces it in her last podcast, and she shows it, and it's beautiful. She knit it out of her narwhal base, and she did such a wonderful job. Anyway, it's one that I hope to knit. But yeah, so I love this bag. Again, so many wonderful bag makers. I really, really like it. I wanted to talk a little bit about a knit along that we have going starting today, February 1st, which is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom! So February, for the last 2 years, we have hosted a Fingering Weight February knit along, and I am so excited to be doing it again. As you can see, I'm knitting everything in Fingering Weight yarn. I have the occasional project that is a DK weight yarn, but usually nothing more than that. I'm hoping to get an Aran weight sweater on the needles, who knows when. But for the most part, I am a Fingering Weight kind of girl. And this year, we will be hosting our Fingering Weight February knit along with the Wool Gathering Collective with Natasha and Meredith. And I am so excited to be hosting a knit along with them. They are wonderful women. They host a really, really great podcast, and I really enjoy them and watching their podcasts. So if you'd like to join us, that would be amazing. You can hashtag it Fingering Weight Feb in Instagram or whatever sort of social medias that you're doing. There will be a lot of wonderful prizes, and yeah, I can't wait to have you guys joining us. That will be so much fun. So start today. You can use any projects that you've been doing. I'll open up a chatter thread, and the prizes will be for chattering and just for joining along and knitting along, of course. So that is really, really, really exciting. I wanted to show you some things that I have in the shop. I have been putting up a lot of mini skeins, just assorted different bases, assorted colors up in the shop. So I will not have any in the shop this week. Next week there will be a lot of mini skein kits, things like that. As far as yarn in the shop, there is a bit of yarn in the shop right now. I have been dyeing quite a bit of my Dorheim base, which is 50% baby alpaca, 50% BFL. This is a really, really nice yarn because it is 475 meters and 520 yards. So it's quite a fine fingering weight, and it would make a really, really nice shawl, I think. It's really warm, it's really soft. It has that really nice halo because of the alpaca. So this is my Berlin Sunrise colorway. I have this in a lot of colors. I have it in blush. I have a lot of yarn in here. And a lot of semi-solids that you can pair this with. So then I have a new base in the shop, which I have not named yet. It is a merino silk, and it is so beautiful. I really wanted to get something that people can knit all year round that's nice in the summer, because the silk makes it so it's a little bit lighter. It's not so warm. I think it's really nice for a light shawl, even a light tank, a really light cardigan. Very, very drapey. So here's this one. This is my Aspen colorway. It's just a really pretty, really light purpley lilac, almost a really, really, really light plum, but I would say more so lilac, with tones of tan and brown and a really pretty color of different blues and almost mustardy yellows. So that one's really beautiful. And then I have this one called Pillow Talk. And that one's really beautiful too. So I really like this base. It's one that I will be dyeing more. I just dyed up these two colorways on that base. So those are in the shop. And I really love them. So here I have our Olsen base on Where Did You Sleep Last Night? And this is named after a Nirvana song. I have two yarns named after a Nirvana song. And then this one is called Mirth. This is one of my new favorite colorways. I think it's so cool. And then I have a lot of really pretty tonals. I have Fog, I have Dewdrop, Moss, Peony, Fig, Barley. Yeah. So there's more. You guys can just go and check it out. There's a bit of DK. There's a lot of Dorheim, like I said, just because I feel like this is the perfect weather for that nice warm yarn. So I've been dyeing a bit of that lately. I have here, I guess I can show you, this doesn't need to be reskeined. This is In Bloom. This is another Nirvana inspired colorway. But it's really beautiful. I can grab it, I guess. I have quite a bit of Berlin Sunrise. There should be 12 of these up in the shop, so if you want one, they should be pretty easy to get right now. And I'm going to be having some kits up in the shop. Some Harry Potter themed ones. I have these awesome Harry Potter bags that will be going up in the shop. I have these really pretty, just kind of vintage flea market-y ones. Homemade Jam, Antique Sale, Flowers. I think these are perfect for spring and summer. Pretty patchwork style bag. And I love this one. This one will be sold as a single individual bag. And then I have a couple of kits with this fabric on it too. And that's it for kits and bags. I will be having more kits up soon. I will be doing more Cozy Memories kits. I won't be doing the tote bag for the next round. I'll be doing this size of bag for a Cozy Memories kit with a zipper, and it will be kind of more of a beginner Cozy Memories kit. And those will be different. They will have, well, you'll have to wait and see. But I'm pretty excited about those. So, I have received some really, really exciting things. From my really good friend Shauna of the Adelaide Cottage podcast and yarn shop. She sells project bags and kits as well. I received this yarn. It's called Marion, and the colorway is Peppermint Kiss. Marion is the base. It's an 80-10-10 merino cashmere silk, and it's so pretty. Robert said it reminds him of strawberry ice cream, and I could totally see that too. It's just a really pretty, very nicely speckled yarn with different tones of peach, fuchsia, pink, definitely me. And one really exciting thing about Shauna from Adelaide Cottage is she's going to be giving away a skein of her yarn, her hand-dyed yarn, as one of our prizes for the Fingering Weight February knit-along. So that would be really nice. You guys can just go over to her shop, whoever the winner is, and pick a skein to win. But you should definitely go and check out her shop. She has a podcast too, which is really, really nice. I've been friends with Shauna for... Shauna, how long have we been friends? A little over half a year, I would say. But she is wonderful. I talk to her very often. She's just a really, really special person. And she has a podcast, which I said you should definitely go and check it out. As always, I would say check out her later podcasts. They always get better as they go. I think that's the best way to give a podcaster a chance, is to check out their most recent one. So I say if you're going to go and check her out her most recent one. And she is just wonderful. I got some awesome Valen yarn. This is her Narwhal Base Love Song, one of her new Valentine's Day colors, but I think she's keeping this as a regular, she said. And this is a 70-20-10 Blue Face Leicester, Silk, and Cashmere. Such a different blend than what most people have. I've never seen this blend anywhere. It's really, really different feeling. It's so cool. Really plump. It feels like once you block it, it would really, really plump up almost to like a sport weight. And I would love to knit. I think I'm going to use this to knit Kristen's new shawl. I think it would be a really nice warm. It feels like it would be really warm. And then I got a skein on her blitzed base of Gashly Crumb 75-25 merino nylon stellina with that gold stellina that I absolutely adore. I have a skein on her blitzed base of her Jilted Rose, and I thought this would pair really nicely with it. I think it will look really cool. So there's that one. And then I forgot to show this last time. And I know that Sarah from the Love Sockle podcast has a No Makers knit-along going on right now. And so I'm almost tempted to cast this on. My good friends Anna and Marianne actually gifted me this yarn at our meetup. And this is the Hobbit colorway, which is so cool. Someone's ringing at our door, so I'm a little bit distracted. I ordered something for Robert, just a fun little because gift, so I'm hoping that that's what it is. Anyway, so this is also on a gold glitter base. And I'm really curious to see how this knits up. I'm curious to open it up and see how it, how the dye is dispersed, because it looks quite insane. But I bet these would make really, really neat socks. Some other really special things that I received from Andy of Andre Sue Knits. We did a little swap, and she gave me some really beautiful hand spun yarn. This is a merino silk hand spun, and it's blue and gray and green. And just really, really pretty. I thought about using these for the garter part of some Farmhouse Flats by Hey Lady Hey. They're really pretty. I don't know, I've already knit my pair. I feel like I want to use this for something for myself. Just because Andy made it and she's so awesome. So then the other thing that I wanted to show that she gave me is this felted gnome that she made. I can't believe that she gave me one of these. I had seen her making these on her podcast, and I just think they're beautiful. I feel really special that she shared this with me. So I've had this in the kitchen where I can see it, but I kind of think I will leave it at my desk now for inspiration. It's absolutely stunning. And then she sent me some other really nice, fun things. One thing that I hope that I will knit soon is this cool mitten keychain. Really sweet, funny. So I think this little guy will come over here at some point. You know, there are a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you guys today, to be honest, but I have so much to do because I didn't get a lot of work done last week, like I said. Ruby and Dodie have been so sick all week. Ruby didn't go to Kita at all. Dodie didn't go to Kita, I think I said. Anyway, of course Ruby didn't. Ruby doesn't go to Kita. And Ruby has had a temperature of 104, that high, or 40 degrees Celsius. And it's just scary. It's scary when you have a little baby whose fever is so high. Now, I know that fevers are good. I know that they're helping you. I know that they're generally not something you need to be afraid of. But when it gets to 40 or 104.5, that's when, you know, it just, their bodies are so little. And I forgot to show you guys something that I've been knitting. I'm going to talk about that before I forget. So behind me, let's grab these. These have to be reskeined because they got all knotted. So I'm going to hang these right here. I knit some squares on my Cozy Memories blanket. And I knit these while the girls were napping because when your babies are sick, it is just the worst thing ever. It is such a terrible feeling. You're just worrying about them, hoping that they get better, and it really breaks my heart. So I knit 5 squares during nap time. I knit this one. These 3 have got to be Valen Yarns. This one, I know this is Outlander. I have no idea what this one is. And then this one right here is my Silk Merino Pillow Talk. I was winding mini skeins of this, and I had a teeny bit left over, and I wanted to knit a little square with it. And I really like the way that it turned out. I think it turned out really pretty. I like the way all of them turned out. I really love this one from Valen Yarns. I'm not sure what it is. And I know this one is from Lammy Toes. Also an amazing dyer. I love her work. She dyes beautiful yarns. I have 2 of her skeins. But yeah, so I did knit a little bit on my Cozy Memories blanket. And yeah, so the girls have been sick. Dodie is getting better. She went to Kita today after a week off. And Ruby, she didn't have a fever yesterday, but she had been having a fever Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for 4 days straight. And she went to the doctors, you know, just to be sure. She has a really, 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 really terrible cough. We just wanted to be sure that her lungs sounded okay, and they did. They said that if her fever is still there today, to bring her back in, and it's not there yet. Now it's morning, so things could change, but hopefully not. And yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on, just taking care of the girls. And looking at Robert because he ordered, he's crazy about soccer, and he ordered their official jacket, and it looks like it came. So anyway, he's freaking out with excitement in the hallway. I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, I've been busy taking care of girls. I haven't gotten a lot of work done just because I'm taking care of the babies. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a really, really wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful time knitting. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I hope that I have a podcast to show you guys with Danny. We'll see how it goes. I can't believe I'll see her in seriously just a few days. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I have to get up at, I think I have to leave here at 5 in the morning. So I hope I'm not too exhausted that day. But yeah, so I'll see you guys all next week.